Hello, everybody. Marla Mack here. I am a 1-3 emotional manifesting generator in human design, and I am also an aligned business guide and advanced human design specialist. And today I have an absolutely wonderful guest. I am super excited to talk to Isa Silver. And Isa is a splenic manifestor. And what is so beautiful about Isa's design is that she has an undefined will. And I will show an image of her chart on the screen just so we can get a visual of her chart. But I am really, really excited to talk to Isa about her experience in discovering her type and specifically her authority as a splenic manifestor and what her experience is like as a splenic manifestor with the root motor to indirectly to the throat through the spleen.
Mm-hmm.
Isa, hello.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
this
thank
feels
you.
Good.
Thank you. Isa, for the people listening in, can you share a couple of sentences about who you are and where you are and what you're doing?
I'm someone who has no fixed direction or identity. I'm in Costa Rica right now. Happens to be where I met human design just over 7.5 years ago. And I didn't plan to come back here. I thought I wouldn't. Once I had times in Europe and became a resident of Mexico. But somehow some things happened. And so now I'm back in this really same valley on the South Pacific side of Mexico, or excuse me, of Costa Rica, just a few ridges back from the Pacific. And my body's really happy about it. And reconnecting with some tribal connections feels really good. And when I left here, I had no idea that I would ever be a human design professional. I did leave here with knowing that I could never live in a place like this if I didn't have some portable skills. And so I went to massage school and language school, thinking that maybe I'll come back to Costa Rica with that as my profession. But then things happened, and here I am talking about human design.
I love it. And you're already now, like you said, you're past that 7-year mark. You're 7.5 years in. So this is going to be ish.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's hard to say exactly where to drop the pin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but by a lot of potential measurements, I was, yeah, I I had already left my profession, my place, lots of things. And I just said, hey, world, I'm gonna go out and meet and see what happens. And so a lot of levels of deconditioning happening there. My PHS eating started in 2018. That's when things really dramatically changed in my life, even more dramatic than leaving the States or anything like that. So yeah, I'm comfortable with saying 7.5 years, but
Ish.
yeah.
Ish.
Mm-hmm.
Just for people listening in, if you have any questions, if you're newer on your journey and you have any questions about what PHS is, PHS stands for Primary Health System, and it involves some of the deeper keynotes within human design. So that you can always add that to your experiment as you go down the road. Of course, I just want to highlight to everybody, strategy and authority are number one. Doesn't matter how exciting all the gates and channels and lines and all the fun little deeper things, strategy and authority, Ra was always big on that. And the more I don't know if you agree, but the more I was learning about all the exciting things as a line one going deep, I realized, wow, he was right. Strategy and authority are like ultimately the first things you really want to get your head wrapped around. I don't know how you feel about that comment, but that to me was like, oh, I get it. That's okay. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna laugh at raw strategy and authority pitch. Yeah, on a basic mechanical level, yes, it is. However, I think that if he had 20 more years to observe people, and actually he didn't want to observe people, so maybe it wouldn't have mattered, and maybe that's why we're here. But I think, there have been evolutions in the understanding of the mechanics of human design and how the level at which it happens at the form level. And then there's questions like at the tonal cognition level and the role of mind and how mind can can get really involved in authorities that are based on Black personality channels. So I would say that the Splenic Manifestor category, which is quite small, includes Ra, it includes me. I don't know. I don't know how many other splenic. I don't know a lot of splenic manifest, and particularly I don't know many splenic manifestors whose authority is based on a Black channel. But the reason that that's key is that if your personality is really involved in your authority, and you think you're doing your authority, but in fact you're moving from transference because your body's in total transference because of you're eating the wrong food or whatever, then I have seen the crack in strategy and authority in my own experiment. But I would say if you're emotional, 100%, no questions at all. If you're emotional, strategy and authority. If you're a generator and you're pure sacral, no question about it. Getting into some finer points of the more minor authorities, this is where looking deeper into the substructure in my own experiment has caused me to question whether that's the best advice for everyone.
And this is why I love these conversations, because my perspective and my experience is mine, and it's not yours, and it's not the other person's, and it's not the other person's.
Exactly.
So I find this is like to really kind of just sum it up. It's almost like moving from black and white to color and really deep, depths of hues and tints and shades.
Good way to put it. Strategy and authority number one is black and white, and that's what Ra could push for everyone. But like you said, just below the line level where authority comes from is color. It's color, and we're helpless at the color level. But maybe we're also transferred at the color level. So I could be, and I know this from my own experience, I can be just splenic, thinking I'm being just splenic, and making a decision like this, which is actually a really stupid decision based on the fact that I had certain food in my system or somebody else was in my aura.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that now. I can absolutely see that. Whereas with emotional, because it is a time thing, right? Those things tend to iron out, I guess, if you want, over time, right? So
exactly. I mean, emotional authority is brilliant to me, and it's like the number one mechanic in human design. If you are emotional, you have to know this and follow this, and your life is going to. And I can feel it because I'm open there.
Right.
I love it when an emotional manifestor says, I'm going to feel that out. And then a week later, they're like, I'm not really sure. And then a week later, oh, I'm definitely not. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I can trust that, right? Or a pure sacral. Do you want to do that right now? Fine. Sweet. Wonderful. But you ask a splenic if you're in a splenic manifestor's aura and you have a defined ego and you try to present something to her like me, how do I know that I'm not amplifying your ego when I say, yeah, or when I say, let's go do that, let's go prove that? I have a history of interacting with other open egos, and that ego together, that mechanic causes me to do things that I wouldn't splenically do otherwise.
Okay.
So,
this is fantastic. And this is a brilliant segue to talking a little bit deeper about your splenic authority as a manifestor. And in particular, showing your chart on the screen with undefined will or ego. And this is exactly what we're talking about. So there are different names for it. Ra called it ego. I like to call it the will authority, because I find that there's a bit more of a direct connection, just grammatically, like willpower,
I'm with you
pushing
there.
through things.
I like saying willpower.
Yeah, ego doesn't. I think people who are newer on their human design journey may not have yet gotten to that point where they can disconnect traditional meanings in the English language with
I'm with you.
actual,
I'm with you on that.
with the meaning of things in human design. So some people also call it the heart center. So that I think has multiple personalities, that center.
Yeah, and you know what I like to say is I have an open heart. I don't have an undefined will. I have an open heart.
Got it. That is okay.
Your willpower can juice me up. I've got like 4 potential will definitions in composite.
Yes.
But I have an open heart, I like to say.
Oh, I love that expression. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I use that in all my LYD now. It's, well, not an LYD now, but the I just really prefer the word open, open
Mhm.
centers. They're open windows. Life is coming
Mhm.
to me through my openness. It's
Mm,
not undefined, like there's something wrong with it, like it's not there. I mean, I have a will, I just
right.
don't have a life force there. I'm not putting out a willpower life force to other people. I
Mhm.
can combine with people to make willpower, but I'm open to others coming to me to make willpower happen, or
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
open to other
Love
people
love it.
to make emotionality happen. Yeah, so there.
I am a lover of words and
Yeah,
words carrying energy and meaning. And I think that was just a
absolutely.
brilliant, brilliant description. So thank you.
I'm glad you got
Um,
to hear it. Uh-huh.
yes. So let's go back to the time where you first discovered you were a manifestor with Splenic Authority.
Mhm.
Can you relay? I know that's probably a very broad question, but I guess in the first stages of that discovery,
Mhm.
what was that experience like for you, or what did that communicate to you, or what did you take away from that?
Oh, I've just been doing that my whole life. No big deal. I already knew that about me. I mean, I was in Costa Rica in April 2016. It was a 6-2 manifester who shared human design with me in the course of a week, where I had bought a class from him called Needing Touch, like a class for people who are not massage people, but people who want to learn how to give touch. Touch cognition, by the way. I didn't learn about it then, but it's really obvious because in that week I got to touch like 10 bodies laid out on the table, and a lot of them said, Isa, you've got the touch. And that's why I was like, well, maybe that's my next profession. Um, but he didn't, that particular ego defined freak genius manifester, money freak genius manifester, he didn't give me a lot of details, but I had that sense, like you and I, we're seeing the world the same way. We ended up here, how we left our North American lives and stuff. And then he had a 6'2" girlfriend, and I was like, yeah, we're all like whatever. So okay, that's 6'2". And then splenic, oh, I just make a decision in the moment. Yeah, that's been my whole life. I just make decisions in the moment and I survive. So I didn't think there was anything for me to do. Um, I didn't understand mind. That wasn't shared with me. But what I did understand was that there was a mechanical nature to the body graphs and the composite readings. And so, or the composites of body graphs. So the first thing I started teaching myself about the body graph was, who do I meet and like how do I connect with people? And that's what got me started. So I was pretty ignorant about Splenic Authority for quite a while. And then when I got into studying it, like the LYD, the foundation courses, that kind of thing, I kept asking questions that nobody could answer. And then I get to LYD guide training class and I ask the teacher of the guide training, I say, okay, finally I get to ask someone, what's up with Splenic Authority for manifestors? It makes perfect sense for me for a projector, but for a manifestor, like, and she's like, well, Isa, you're going to become the expert in that. And I was like, no, I literally said, I didn't want you to say that. And I like, "Ugh." And then about, I don't know, within some months, I found the first honest, real text from Ra about what is splenic authority for a manifester. And here's the quote. It's like not having an authority at all, end quote.